Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I'm your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Thursday, January 5th, 2023, and I'm here to talk to you guys about the 4-game slate that we have in the NBA tonight. It's a lot smaller slate than we had last night, so hopefully we can really hone in on our favorite plays and get you guys some winning lineups tonight. If you're new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, hit the alarm bell. That will let you know when the newest podcast has gone live. And also, if you're new to DFS Coach Talk, you can join us at dfscoachtalk.com. We have memberships that start as low as $9 a week, so we would love to have you join. We're a very family-friendly community. We don't talk trash about each other. We keep it positive, so you'll really like it and hope you join soon. We are going to be doing a special promo on the kickoff of the NFL playoffs, probably next week, just depending on how the NFL decides to do all the scheduling and everything. There's still some questions about that, talking about possibly expanding it to 8 teams this year in each conference. So we'll have to see what happens there. And if they do that, if there's going to be, a delay in the start time. So as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know what that promo is going to look like for the kickoff of the NFL playoffs, but we're super excited about that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the slate tonight. The first game, we have the Memphis Grizzlies at the Orlando Magic. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. For the Grizzlies, Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark, and Danny Green are out. The Grizzlies' projected starting lineup is Ja Morant, John Conchar, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, and Steven Adams. For the Magic, we have Bol out, Jonathan Isaac out, Chuma Okeke out, and Mo Wagner out. Their starting lineup has been confirmed. It's Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. For me in this game, my top plays, I don't really like anybody on the Grizzlies. Obviously you could look at Ja Morant, but he just really hasn't had a whole lot of success against Orlando, and they've been doing a pretty decent job against point guards this year. So I'm going to be passing on Ja Morant. There's a few other pay-up options that I like on this slate more. I do like a couple plays in the mid-tier range for Orlando. Franz Wagner on Orlando, he's 6,800 on DraftKings, 6,500 on FanDuel, and $25 on Yahoo. The Grizzlies have allowed the second most fantasy points to small forwards, so I do like him in this spot. With Bol and Chuma Okeke out, I like Wendell Carter Jr. He's 6,400 on DraftKings, 5,900 on FanDuel, and $21 on Yahoo. And then we have the value play that we had last night with Gary Harris. He's 3,800 on both DraftKings and FanDuel, $10 on Yahoo. He played 27 minutes last night, and he had 26.3 DraftKings points. So those 3 plays on the Orlando side, and I'm not really looking at anybody on the Memphis side. And that's really about it for me in this game. Let me go ahead and check the chat and see if anybody has any questions. Yeah, I meant to do that, total and spread. Okay, so this game, the Orlando Magic and the Memphis Grizzlies has a 229.5 over-under, and the Grizzlies are favored by 6.5. So that is the spread and the over-under. The next game we have 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm sure Coach will be watching this one. Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks. Boston is favored by 3, even though they're in Dallas. It has a 231.5 over-under. The only injury that the Celtics have is Gallinari is out. Robert Williams is expected to be back in their lineup coming off the bench. So their projected starting lineup is Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford. And then for the Mavericks, Dorian Finney-Smith, Josh Green, and Maxi Kleber are out. So their projected lineup is Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, and Christian Wood. And for me in this game, it's pretty much the 2 main guys at the top. Jason Tatum, 10.9 on DraftKings, 10.8 on FanDuel, $47 on Yahoo. He had 66.3 DraftKings points against Dallas earlier this year, so I do like Jason Tatum a lot. On a 4-game slate, you kind of have to look at all those top pay-up studs, in my opinion, and just kind of find the 1 or 2 that you really like the most. And then obviously probably going to be the highest owned player on the slate with Luka. 12.6 on DraftKings, 12.8 on FanDuel, and $60 on Yahoo. So very expensive, but he's really the only one, maybe the Joker, that has that 80 plus upside that we're looking at for a pay up option. And then Christian Wood, I like him as well in this game. He's 7,900 on DraftKings, 8,100 on FanDuel, $30 on Yahoo. He had 44 DraftKings points against Boston earlier this year, and so I do like Christian Wood as well. Next game, we have the Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. Utah is favored by 6.5. It has a 231.5 over under. The projected starting lineup for the Jazz is Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, Jared Vanderbilt, Kelly Olynyk, and Colin Sexton is out for the Jazz. So that'll open up some more minutes for Jordan Clarkson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. For Houston, they don't have anybody that's supposed to be out. So their projected starting lineup, Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun. In this game, my favorite plays are for the Jazz. I like Jordan Clarkson. He's 7,300 on DraftKings, 6,800 on FanDuel, $24 on Yahoo. The Rockets have allowed the most fantasy points to point guards. Jordan Clarkson did face them on October 26th. He had 43.5 DraftKings points. So I do like the potential there for a 40-plus fantasy point night at a 6,800 on FanDuel price. And 7,300 on DraftKings, 24 on Yahoo. So I would probably prioritize him on FanDuel and Yahoo, but I think he's still playable on DraftKings. And then on the Houston side, Jalen Green is in play. He's 6,600 on DraftKings, 7,200 on FanDuel, $25 on Yahoo. The Jazz have allowed the 8th most fantasy points to shooting guards this year. And I also like Alperen Sengun. He's 5,800 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel, and $19 on Yahoo. The Jazz have allowed the 2nd most fantasy points to centers. Obviously, without Rudy Gobert, they've really struggled to stop the center position. So I do like Sengun tonight. Yeah, I'm not fading Luka until he slows down. I mean, he's been just putting up 80s like they're nothing lately. So until that pace slows down for him, I'm not fading Luka, especially at home. When he goes on the road, I might, but while he's still at home, I'm not fading him. The last game of the night is the Los Angeles Clippers at the Denver Nuggets. This game has some injury news that we're going to have to find out because Paul George is questionable, so that's going to make a big difference if he plays or not. Denver's favored by 6. It has a 229 over under. The projected starting lineup for the Clippers right now is Reggie Jackson. Paul George is projected to start, but we're going to have to wait and see because, like I said, he is questionable. Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, and Ivica Zubac. For the Nuggets, Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. So that is the preview there for that game. And then for the plays, if Paul George is out, obviously Kawhi Leonard is in play. He's 8,100 on DraftKings, 9,000 on FanDuel, $33 on Yahoo. As I mentioned, Paul George is questionable, but his last 6 games against Denver, he scored less than 50 fantasy points. So for his price, if he's not going to get 50 fantasy points, then I'm not going to play him, especially with him having a questionable tag. Because I'm sure he's going to be limited in some capacity. Nikola Jokic, 11,800 on DraftKings, 11,500 on FanDuel, $57 on Yahoo. He scored 67.5 and 93 DraftKings points his last 2 games against the Clippers. So he and Luka are my top 2 pay-up options by far. I lean towards Luka just because he's been the one that's been the most consistent, but obviously the Joker is more capable. Is just as capable, I should say, of having a big night. So if Paul George plays, I think that, there's a better chance of the Joker having a bigger night because I think that Denver could pull away pretty early in this game without Paul George playing. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I would say if George is out, then we'll probably be playing Luka more. But if George plays, then you could definitely go to the Joker too. So It's just a small 4-game slate, pretty quick podcast. Does anybody have any more questions before I go into my PrizePicks plays? And then I'll take any last second questions, and then we'll move on to lineups posting. Value plays. Gary Harris would be one for sure. Like I said, he's 3,800 on DraftKings and FanDuel, $10 on Yahoo. He'll be projected to be in the starting, or he is in the starting lineup, actually, I believe. Let me check that again. Yeah, he is. He's going to be starting. So Gary Harris is definitely one of the values. There's not really a whole lot that stands out to me, though, from a value standpoint. I mean, I've only got I don't know, probably 9 or 10 plays here as a total anyway. So there's not a whole lot on this 4-game slate that just jumps out to me as a great play. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll get some news that can help us with that. But at this point, it's just kind of filling out your lineup and then plugging in the value plays that you like the most. Yeah, Luka's not going to put up 45 fantasy points. I mean, the odds of that happening with what he's been doing lately, I just don't see it. Unless you're talking about 45 real points. That I could see. I mean, his last 6 games, 68, 85, 81, 110, 60, and 82. I mean, he's just absolutely been playing out of his mind. Martin. Which Martin are you talking about? Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Kenyon Martin Jr. Yeah, that is actually a value play that I do like. Let me look and see what his prices are. I forgot about him. I forgot to write that down. All right, so Kenyon Martin Jr. is, where did he go? He was way up here in ownership earlier today. 3,500 on DraftKings, 3,900 on FanDuel, and $10 on Yahoo. Now, from an ownership standpoint on value, it looks like John Conchar, Tyus Jones, Santi Aldama, Jabari Smith Jr. He's only 4,800 on DraftKings. He's like 6,000 or something on FanDuel, so it's a lot cheaper on DraftKings. Smith is 5,000. His price come down a little bit on FanDuel. So yeah, he's 5,000 on FanDuel. So that's not bad at all. And 17 on Yahoo. So Jabari Smith Jr. and Kenyon Martin Jr. I think I don't really like Zubac because I think he'll get in foul trouble against the Joker. Tyus Jones is another play that you could look at. 4,300 on DraftKings. And see who else I like here. Not really liking Robert Williams. He just has not looked right when he's been out there this year. Jason Tate, I thought he was out. If he's playing, that might be why the ownership has moved on Kenyon Martin Jr. Have to find that out. But anyway, anybody else have any other questions? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Thanks, Travis. Yeah, Jason Tate is back. So, yeah, I would probably lean with Tate over Martin then. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. As I mentioned before, if you haven't joined us yet, join us at dfscoachtalk.com. We've got memberships that start as low as $9 a week. And then we'll have a special announcement next week when we kick off the NFL playoff promo. So hope everyone has a great night tonight. Just a small slate. So I think we can really hone in on our lineups and absolutely crush it. And Deb and I will be back tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and PrizePicks. Thank you.